What's up, you crazy kids? Joe Meggs here, baseballbeast.com. Got another video blog for you today. Got a question from Tommy. This is the part 2 question to training with weighted baseballs. Hopefully you saw the video yesterday, and I just talked about, really what my thoughts on were that this question's a little different, but it's going to be part 2 of, training with weighted baseball. So let's check out the question. If a pitcher does a series of arm circles to loosen up the arm with the weighted ball, would arm speed slow down, thus increasing throwing velocity? All right, so Tommy, let's get into the nut and bolts of this. First off, I know you checked out my article about how using a weighted bat on the on-deck circle before you bat wasn't the best scientifically proven idea. But on the other end of the spectrum, for anyone who's played baseball at a high level can tell you that baseball is a mental game just as much as it is a physical game. So, with that said, if A-Rod, Derek Jeter, or Albert Pujols tell me that, using a weighted bat is going to help them, help their bat speed or whatever, I'm not going to be the guy that says, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Because, if that's going to give them the mental edge, that's what you need, all right? So, and sometimes, man, if you're playing the game, you sometimes just gotta throw science out the window, dude. Because, what happens on the field, isn't always related to what scientifically is the best idea and whatnot. Again, maybe it will throw off your timing or whatnot, but if you feel like it gives you that mental edge and it's going to mentally prepare you for that at bat, then by all means, I don't want you to stop what you're doing for that. This same principle, I'm going to say, applies to your question about using a weighted ball to warm up the arm. I've seen I'm a huge Yankee fan. I've seen Mariano Rivera get ready in the bullpen with the weighted ball. I don't know if he ever throws with it, but I see him doing his arm circles with it, just moving it in different directions and stuff like that. I'm not going to, for bet whether it really works or whether it doesn't, I'm not going to tell Mariano Rivera, the best closer of all time, not to do that, all right? Because that's, that mentally prepares him to, warm up. And, if that's what you've been doing, Tommy, then don't stop, all right? Because if you think it's helping you, it's kind of like the placebo effect. It probably is mentally helping you, all right? So scientifically, I'm not positive, but I would assume that the same, if you're throwing a weighted baseball, and your mechanics aren't perfect, it's going to reinforce a bad motor pattern and, just make your mechanics, just throw you off your timing more than anything. So hopefully that kind of answers your question a little bit. Again, it's all about mental preparation. If you think it's mentally preparing you, then use it. If you haven't been doing it, I wouldn't start doing it, all right? Check out the video yesterday for some reasons why. I'm not going to get into that again, but hopefully that answers your question, Tommy. Keep the questions coming in, guys. Joe Meggs here, baseballbeast.com. Peace.